Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, allow feelings of tension or stress or worry to slowly leave your body in your outward breath. If it's safe to do so, allow your eyelids to close, and as they close, notice a wave of relaxation washing over you, breathing in and breathing out, enabling you to feel deeper and deeper relaxed. As your body relaxes, notice that your breathing slows down, that your mind seems to quieten. Those long, deep breaths become a vehicle for breathing in wonderful feelings of resourcefulness and exhaling, slowly but surely, the stress and tension of the world, leaving your body in that outward breath. Meaning just by breathing in and breathing out, you're becoming more and more comfortable, more and more calm, more and more relaxed. Some people believe in the idea of astral projection, that you can simply move to a different place in the world, even at a different time, simply by thinking it. So I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine looking at the world. Maybe a giant map, maybe a globe. And I want you to spin that globe or move that map until you're looking over the continent of South America. I want you to stare there on the right-hand side of South America. As you get closer, I want you to imagine zooming in. And I want you to look at the country of Brazil. Perhaps you can see two large cities in Brazil, Sao Paulo and Rio. And just imagine up and to the left, staring at the small towns in the state of Sao Paulo. I want you to feel like you're gliding in, being navigated to a small town called Colina. And I want you to imagine not just that you're visiting that town, but that you are going back in time, perhaps 60 years back in the past, where you could imagine seeing a small boy in a small town there in the large country of Brazil. But I want you to imagine you're visiting this place in the same way that we visit places all the time when we read a story. We mentally take our minds into a different place, into a different time. So imagine how you would feel if you were listening to a story about that town In that time in Brazil, once upon a time, in the sun-kissed land of Brazil, there was a boy named Augusto. He wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth. His beginnings were as humble as they come. His family wasn't wealthy, but they were rich in love and wisdom, and they shared with Augusto the greatest treasure of all, the joy of learning. Augusto's childhood was sprinkled with dreams as vast as the Brazilian skies. Every night, under the blanket of stars, he would tell his mother about his wish to heal hearts with words. His mother, with eyes as warm as the Brazilian sun, would say, "Augusto, to touch a soul, you must first listen to its song." As he grew, Augusto became a curious and an avid learner, drinking deeply from the well of knowledge. Books were his best friends, and in their pages he found endless worlds. He would often be found perched on the branch of his favorite willow tree, lost in thought and conversation with philosophers, poets, and thinkers of old. Time passed, and the boy's mind flourished like the rainforest. He became a man with a wealth of knowledge and a heart filled with compassion. Augusto became a doctor and set out into the world, a world he longed to change with his understanding of the human mind. His journey wasn't easy. It was strewn with challenges that would have deterred a lesser man. But for him, every stumbling block was a stepping stone, every defeat a lesson in disguise. He began writing his thoughts, weaving them into stories and philosophies that echoed with the struggles and triumphs of every human being. He spoke of fears and hopes, of anxiety and dreams, and above all, he spoke of managing one's thoughts to live a fuller, more meaningful life. And his words spread like wildfire, touching the hearts of the young and the old, the rich and the poor, the student and the teacher. The tales of his journey and his words spread across lands and seas, inspiring countless others. And so, the boy named Augusto, who had once looked up at the stars and dreamt of changing the world, did just that. One word, one thought, one heart at a time. In a parallel world of children's tales, there was a young boy named Augusto, an inquisitive soul with a zest for life. He lived in a quaint village where every person's story was a song, and every song was a lesson. And his quest was to collect these songs and learn their melodies and morals. With a backpack full of dreams and a flute by his side, he traveled through forests and over mountains, across rivers, and into the hearts of everyone he met. He played his flute, and in return, people shared their stories of love and loss, of courage and fear, of triumph and failure. With each story, Augusto's music became richer and his mission clearer. He became a storyteller, a healer of souls, a young philosopher whose music carried the wisdom of the world. Children gathered to hear him play and speak, finding comfort and courage in his songs. The boy, named Augusto, with his humble flute and heart full of songs, became a legend. He proved that no matter where you come from, your song can resonate across the world, healing, inspiring, and making a difference in ways you never imagined. And so, the two Augustos, one real and one from a tale, remind us that we all have a song to sing, a story to tell, and a life to touch. And I want you to imagine you're listening to the song being told through a flute, where messages are communicated through music. Maybe you could imagine being by a river somewhere in Brazil, where a young boy with a flute is sharing wisdom through music. So open your mind to ideas that can open your mind to new possibilities. And imagine the seeds of effort you plant today blooming into the flowers of success tomorrow. That you can envision the serenity of a calm mind as a luxurious space within you, far from the chaos of the world. Imagine feeling the depth of your sensitivity as a wellspring of love and the canvas for your dreams. Perhaps just like Augusto, you can recognize frustrations and setbacks as stepping stones, leading you to the wisdom of transcending challenges. And you can acknowledge the thrill of taking risks, knowing that they add value and reality to your dreams. As you build bridges in your mind, connecting thoughts of peace and understanding, while walls of limitation crumble away. As you breathe in and breathe out, breathe in the courage to embark on the greatest adventure of living your dreams. Believe that you can transform your nightmares into the power to change your world, letting your dreams set sail on winds of action. As you can meet every day with the extraordinary courage turning the ordinary into artistry. Embrace the autonomy of your life, claiming it as your own with every breath you take. And picture your mind expanding with every book you read and every new thought you entertain. You are the master of your own destiny, and decide to master your thoughts with grace. You're not in control of your first thought, but you can control your second. And as you master your thoughts with grace, you guide them with the hand of intention. That you can take responsibility for directing your subsequent thoughts towards positivity and growth. Feeling the freedom that comes when your mind explores, learns, and grows, unchained by doubt. I wonder what might happen if you encountered every challenge with the curiosity of a scientist, discovering how far you can really go. Feel how good it feels to feel the chains of limitations dissolving, freeing you to reach your fullest potential. Dive into the adventure of changing your mind, turning every experience into a lesson in growth. You already know that there is a big difference between real and imagined threats. And as you separate the two, notice that how much of your anxieties were based on your own imagination. And as they reduce, you fill your mind with clarity and peace. Breathe in and breathe out, hearing the flute, perhaps the sound of the river, and let the calmness of your inner being reflect in your actions, becoming an example of what it means to be a role model, to be the kind of person that sets an example for those around you. Whatever your age right now, remind yourself that the vigor of youth is nurtured by the combat against worry, that you can keep yourself feeling young just with the very thoughts that flow through your mind. And let the idea of free growth echo in your thoughts, encouraging you to break free from old patterns. Allow your understanding of the human mind to deepen, feeling fascinated by your ability to change it. Our minds weren't meant to stay the same. They adapt, evolve, and change. So embrace that change. And when anxiety whispers of imagined threats, let your breath be the voice of reason, calming the storm. With each decision you make, let the essence of freedom and personal responsibility guide you. And as you awaken each day, do so with the intent to fight for your well-being and peace of mind. Imagine the boy with the flute ending their song. But before we leave this place, I want you to imagine that you're about to take a swim in the river, washing away any guilt, shame, resentment and anger, leaving you clean and fresh to move forward in your life without holding on to the past. Dive into the river, feel the coolness of the water, feel it wash away all of those things that no longer serve you. And then leave, pulling yourself up on the banks of the river. And imagine floating up in the air, so high until it looks like you're observing a map or a globe, and continue to zoom out all the way until you feel like you're back in your body. Understanding that everything that you've heard are just thoughts within thoughts, ideas within ideas, dreams within dreams, to help nurture positive change. Now feeling back in your body, take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Feel connected fully in the present moment as I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling resourceful, a sense of serenity and peace, but a willingness to do what it takes to move forward and live your dreams. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.